Hey Kevin, I got a lot of people that I see sometimes who maybe a little bit older, maybe in their 20s, 30s, and they come in and they just say, I need to grow up, and I didn't have a good example. I don't know where I'm at. I feel immature. I feel like I should be further along in life than this. How do I go about that? How does somebody help themselves in that situation when they didn't have a good model?
I think a lot of times if we separate our feelings from our behaviors, it helps in growing up. As a grown-up, I feel angry a lot of the time, but my behavior isn't throwing a fit or calling people names. And so whenever we realize the fact that having negative feelings and acting on negative feelings is a part of what establishes that you're a grown-up. So when you're capable of having negative feelings and not reacting inappropriately, that's part of growing up.
Yeah, I don't think that things don't make me mad anymore like they did when I was 19. I just don't react in that same way. And maybe the intensity of those feelings aren't as much, and the frequency of those feelings don't come around as much. But it doesn't mean that being grown up means that you don't ever have any negative feelings, that you don't ever mess up or do anything wrong. But I think wanting to grow up means that you're establishing a place in the world. You're establishing a career, a family. You have purpose in life. These kind of things. And if you don't have that model, it's kind of hard because you grow up without that. And so one thing you can do is find somebody in your life that maybe you look up to, that maybe you want to be like. Ask questions, figure it out, find somebody who can help you get there.
If you don't have anybody in your circle that could be an example or model for you, you need to expand your circle. That's pretty big. As far as separating being a grown-up from not being a grown-up, it depends on what timeline it is that you're talking about. I've read the Bible and I've read a lot of psych books and human development books. I've never read the timeline that says that by the time you're 25, you shouldn't still be intermittently angry. By the time, whose timeline are you working on? What steps are you looking to achieve? Throw the timeline away. We're all behind where we think we should be. Look at where you want to be and work towards those goals.
Yes, stages of human development is different for everybody based on how we grow up and our personality, temperaments, all these things. And so don't be too hard on yourself. But I think if you're realizing that you do need some growing up to do and you don't know how to do it, that's the first step, is that you realize that and you understand that and you want to get better. And listen, there's all kinds of educational tools and tips out there. There's podcasts and books and counselors like us to talk to. But the one thing you don't want to do is give up, to say, well, I didn't have that model, so I'm never going to be able to do this, and then just throw in the towel. That's not anything you should do. Anybody can walk down a path and find the end of that path if they choose to.
If you're ready to grow up, you're ready to make some hard steps, ready to go through the work of the process that you see in other people, and you're like, hey, I want to be a grown-up too. Well, sometimes it helps to have someone to walk with you, to guide you in that, and that's what counselors do, and we'd love to help.